I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
My best
What's
friend's
up, everyone? Welcome back to the Katy Keene AfterShow. We're breaking down season 1, episode 10, Gloria, and it was a lot, y'all. I'm your host tonight, Brian Santos, and we're sending all our love to our girl Yvette, who couldn't be with us tonight, but we do still have our amazing panel with us and our special guest. You can see her. We have the baddest bitch on the block, Eric Devontae. Hello, how are you?
I'm everything, and that was the perfect intro.
Yes. We also have our fashionista queen. She looks great, showing us some shoulders. Hannah, how are you, boo?
Thank you. You know, I had to give the people what they wanted, okay? I'm feeling great.
I love it. And the amazing, joining us for the second time. We love her so much. So happy to have her back on with us to talk about her being so bad. It was so good. Camille Hyde, welcome back, girl. So happy to have you.
Hi, thank you. I'm so happy to be back with you guys.
It is so fun. I'm so excited to get into this episode. We have so much going on. Gloria and the Me Too vibes, Jorge's throuple, Josie and Xandra's literal cat fight, and Pepper's expose. So there was so much to talk about. I can't wait to get into it. So let's just jump right in. Eric, overall thoughts?
Camille, girl. This episode was spicy. It was a lot to take in, and my diet is suffering from it. Real spicy. Almost messed up the gumbo.
It was. Give it to me. What you think?
So now tell Camille what you thought.
Man, first of all, I thought, man, your character, girl, really tried it. She tried it. And so, I was just speechless when I saw
it. She did it.
She did it.
Follow through.
She really did. I mean, she saw what she wanted and she got it.
Yeah.
But man, I was just like, what? And Jorge I felt a little bad for him. A little.
Yeah.
I definitely had a moment of weakness when I saw him like watching Bernardo run with Buzz.
I was like, no.
I always say that's the thing with threesomes. That anytime you bring the other person in, they might just steal your man.
Yeah. I know. I literally tweeted. I was like, if anyone else like even thought about touching my boyfriend, I would lose it.
That's
it. There's zero way. It was a bad idea from the start. Bad idea.
Seriously, I low-key loved it. That was actually my favorite part of it. I love how Bernardo brought up that throuple proposition. I was here for it. I will 9,000% be in a throuple or a single with Bernardo. Just shouting that out there to everybody involved. I loved it too. You mentioned the so many fun stuff that I want to talk about as well. But Camille, you wanted to come back for this episode in particular. What are some of your favorite moments?
Well, I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly, I really loved in this episode specifically. Xandra came into it being very open and being very kind of like with her guard down with Josie, which is something that you saw a little bit of in episode 8 when she told Josie that she had a really good EP, and she was very kind of complimentary with how she wanted her to know that she liked her music. And that's something, Xandra really struggles with, is swallowing her pride and being able to be vulnerable with people, even when she has, a power struggle with them in whatever way. So in the beginning, she swallowed her pride and she was like, listen, I love what you're building and I'd love to be a part of it. She got shut down. And her retaliation, Xandra is a work in progress. So it seems like she takes 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So in this episode, I loved the dichotomy between her swallowing her pride and coming to Josie and trying to be mature about it and build with her and trying to actually gain a friend and a confidant and a creative partner. And, the rejection caused her to kind of act out and do what she did. But obviously the highlight of this is that I basically got to be Beyonce. And at that point, it was I don't give a crap about anyone validating my dreams. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to do it in a way that might not be popular, it might not be accepted by all of you, but it was legal, as we saw the scene after. Like, I own the damn music, so
Yes.
if I want to perform the darn music that I paid for, then I'm gonna perform the darn music that I paid for.
I'll give you that.
So,
I told Eric, I said it was very Scooter Braun vibes, like stealing the masters, performing it your own.
Right.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So those, I mean, it was very much like it was a very dynamic episode for Xandra, because you get to see a side of her that you don't really see, which is her kind of like literally swallowing all of her pride and not trying to be the head bitch in charge, and just being like, yo, like, let's be partners in this. Like,
Yes.
let's do something together.
Do you think she could have, like, based on what we saw with Josie and her bandmates feeling neglected, do you think that Xandra would have been able to exist in that element and not been in the forefront?
You know, that's probably an issue for her. That would probably be something that, you know, would have been a complication. And to be honest, in the comic books, it was actually a storyline that Xandra was in the Pussycats, and then she got kicked out for being power hungry and not wanting to relinquish control to anyone else. So that's actually a storyline that already exists in the comics, that it didn't work out because of that power dynamic. And I definitely think, like, if that were to happen, there would definitely be conflict. They would clash. Xandra's not the person to stand behind anyone, to be, you know, someone and the anything. It's Xandra is in the front line, or
right.
at all. So like, she's gonna be the lead of something, or she's gonna be an equal in something, but she's not gonna be a background of anything.
Absolutely.
Right.
So now I want to know what I was thinking, because you brought it up a little bit, Camille. I actually did not think Xandra had good intentions from the beginning. I thought she was coming to take down the Pussycats from that initial request. So now, were you on the same boat with me? Did you think that she was genuine, or was she having her little plan?
You know, I think for a second, you know, Xandra really had the interest of expressing herself as an artist for the first time. You know, she grew up under the thumb of her stepdad and her mom, and trying to fit this perfect 10th of a daughter kind of mold, doing whatever they wanted her to do. And this was an opportunity for her to step out of that and be able to play with something and live in something that she actually had a passion for. And if that meant, you know, joining forces with someone that she didn't necessarily see eye to eye with for whatever reason, then she was going to do it because it was worth it to be able to actually chase her dreams and do something that she had a passion for once. And she was willing to do that. So I think that was definitely genuine. But when she gets shut down or rejected or hurt, the only thing she knows is retaliation. The only thing she knows is, if you come at me, I'm going to come back at you times 10. And that's something that, you know, she hasn't grown out of quite yet. And that hurt drives her to do the more malicious things. So I think she definitely was genuine at a certain point, but when she gets hurt, there's no more nice guy. It's, I'm going to do whatever I got to do, whether it means hurting your feelings or not. So that's what she was by the end of that episode.
So now, what did you think about that? Do you agree?
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, sometimes, you know, Alexandra, she can just do things that is just so crazy. But I also feel like she's very assertive. And one thing I do like about your character is that anything that she really wants, or anything that she wants to say, or, you know, is feeling, she's gonna let that out on the table, and she's gonna let it be known. And it's kind of like you're not surprised by it, you know, too much. Because you know she's gonna pull something. So I feel like, you know, next time Josie probably is gonna like go ahead and try to figure out all the ways in how to protect herself next time. So then she doesn't get the stage stolen from her. But it's always, I feel like, you know, it's a playing chess. where other people are kind of playing checkers. That was that kind of move, even though it was very sneaky, like a power move. Like, okay, you don't want me to play with you. Okay, how about I play for you? And I was like, wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Well,
And the hair flip at the end too.
Right.
Yes, when you got to the knees, I was like right there with you on your knees. I was like on my couch, ready, like
Right. Like you didn't take my set. Like you didn't take my set.
Right, exactly. That was a whole moment. It was a
I was
moment.
screaming. I loved it. Well, Eric, I want to know what you thought about Josie. Would you have sided with Josie in that moment when she shut down Xandra, or would you be more compassionate?
You know, for me as a viewer watching, because of Xandra's past, knowing that she off rip did not like Josie, and her and Alex had a prior relationship. So it was just like, I don't know if this is genuine or what to believe. But look, girl, I'm about to get on this stage and I don't have time to play these games with you. So I guess I would have been hesitant too, because I'll be honest, like I didn't think Xandra was coming from a place of being genuine. I thought it was like, let me get in Josie's head. And she has her own group now. She stepped away from my grandfather. She stepped away from my dad. So what can I do to like stay in the game? That's what I was thinking. So I get Josie's thought process.
For sure. And Camille, I 100% agree with your perspective as well. Like, I think that she was, for myself personally watching it, I think that she had some intentions, but all those things are also in the back burner because she is trying to do something for herself. Because she's been kind of doing things for everybody else as well. And she finally is like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I am tired of everybody running my life. I'm going to take back control of my life. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to just take back the Pussycats. And I was here for it. I absolutely loved it. So I cannot wait to talk more about that. Let's move in real quick and let's talk about Gloria, because that was a very, very big storyline of this whole episode. So we start the episode with Gloria. She has this book reading, but it kind of turns into basically an expose when it's discovered that she's running this alleged sex ring of Lacy's employees. So now I have to go to you, girl. The Me Too vibes were real. What were your thoughts?
Man, I had so many emotions with the whole Gloria thing. First off, I just want to be the first one to say, I really do think that, you know, first of all, when Gloria was being vulnerable, starting there and explaining, you know, how she had her little boot thing back in the day.
Right.
And turns out it was Lacy's son. But I think that's Katy's dad.
Girl,
the predictions. The predictions.
That's good. A scandalo.
Like, because I mean, her mama and Gloria were messing with the same dude. So why else would there be a sewing machine with her name and her alleged dad's name?
Yeah.
I don't know, Camille. I don't know, Camille. Am I far off?
I think it's all speculative. I think that there are a lot of things that you could be led to think, but like honestly, the things just keep unfolding in ways that you just don't expect. So
I love it. I can't wait to see
plot
more.
twist, though. That would be such a good plot twist. Just when you think this is the CW, we go to Showtime and Cinemax.
Okay.
Not HBO.
VH1, loving him.
My favorite line that I really did love watching Gloria become vulnerable with Katy and coming over to their apartment in Washington Heights. And I literally put on my story because I knew, like, in the table read when we read the script, this one line, like when she came in and Katy was like, "Oh, I never thought I'd see you in Washington Heights," and she was like, "Well, I never thought I'd see so many colors in one room."
Yes,
not her interior design.
Right. I'm like, girl.
She showed up at the door all with her glasses on. Like, I swear, Gloria has me dead. But like throughout the whole series, you always kind of guess with Gloria to see where her mind is really at, where her really at. If she actually has like any of the girls' interests at her in her priority list of priorities, like, does she care about these girls, or is it just about the sales, like Amanda says, you know? And it's easy to argue either way at this point, But I think this episode really showed like kind of where her mentality is when it comes to that. And some of the girls don't really understand her, like why she is so tough. But I think this was that moment that Katy and Gloria needed to kind of unify and understand each other. So I thought that was really sweet.
For sure. Eric, what I want to know from you is, did you feel like Gloria was in the right to ask Katy to do that, to ask her to write that letter that kind of, I guess, is the expose for her as well?
Was Katy right to ask Gloria for a reference letter for college?
True.
Like, I mean, hey, she has no one else to turn to, and I feel like the one thing that Gloria can't deny is that Katy is that golden child, the child that is not gonna lie to you, that doesn't want to hurt you. Like, she's the one that, like, she's not gonna ask Amanda. She's gonna ask Katy, and it makes perfect sense. So I feel like Gloria knows what kid has her heart, and it's Katy. So I think it was fitting.
Definitely. Oh,
Right.
that was a lot of drama with Gloria. Any other thoughts on that whole scenario?
Are we gonna act like this isn't Amanda? Are we gonna act like this isn't Amanda? Because
No,
what I was not liking was that Amanda was basically throwing up flags like it was me. It was me. And Katy was just like, yeah, I wonder who it could be. Was it Lacy? Was it Janet Jackson on the Rhythm Nation tour in 1984? I was like, Katy, pay attention to the signs.
I'm screaming.
I
I
know.
actually think it was Miss Lacy. I do truly believe that. I think she was, jaded or out to get Gloria because Gloria was on her own come up. She's so successful with the personal shoppers, and there's only one other place she can go, and that's store owner. So I think Miss Lacy did do that. I definitely think Amanda had a hand in it. Miss Lacy probably confided in Amanda, got all the tea from Amanda, and then wrote that letter. But I don't know. We'll see. Sanaa, I see you.
Sanaa, please shine some light.
She didn't. No. Let me read it for you. She didn't just confide in her. She promised her. Okay. Why else do you think she's the head now? With Katy, she bribed her for that. She's like, you know what, girl? If you want this new spot and you want to be the head honcho in charge, I'm gonna need for you to do some brewing of some tea. Right. And that's when she did that. We on to you, Amanda.
Because what was the piece of information? Something was said, and Amanda was like, wow, this really is the best day ever. And I was just like, Amanda is saying everything that would make me believe that this is her.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I know Camille can't say nothing, but she was at this table read. At least give me 2 blinks. Give me 2 blinks if I'm right.
I don't know.
I am living. Well, another thing I was living for, we got to move into that now. Let's talk about the throuple. This whole thing going on with Jorge Bernardo and Buzz. We talked about it a little bit at the top. We don't know who initiated this. We don't know what's going to happen next because there was so much drama. Eric, going to you first. Tell me your thoughts on this whole scenario.
I mean, it goes back to the end of last episode. Be careful what you wish for because you just may get it. And this was a bit of regression for Jorge, in my opinion. Like, I started to see that really insecure side of him that we saw, back in the early Molly's Crisis days and stuff like that. And I felt it, and I'm just like, but this is what you wanted. And then Bernardo he knows the type of person that he's with. So he's like, are you sure you want to bring a third person into this relationship? Like, he gave you the go ahead to be like, I'm not with this. And then, I mean, you played yourself. I don't know what Jorge thought was the end goal here, but he wasn't true to himself. And now in the end, you see Bernardo and Buzz running. And when I tell you I'm not the one, Buzz would have been running it like Chris Brown. Not with my name. Not with my
I
name.
would have been right there like, oh, hell no. Like,
right. I don't even like to run.
Someone would have ended up in the river.
Right. Right.
I don't care how cold it was. Someone would have ended up in the river.
That's it.
I 100% agree. I'm all like into a 3-way. Like, I want to, go there one time, I'm going to talk about this off air, but I would have not done it if I knew it could have risked my relationship. And I think what the bigger issue with this situation is that Jorge and Buzz already have history. So I think that's what makes it so awkward. Like, if it was some rando off the street, they found on an app, then it would have just been, a one-time move on. But the fact that they already have history and it's a lot of emotions involved, it's very emotionally charged and it just gets very messy. Camille, I see your face. Tell me your thoughts.
like I said, like I would cut someone. Like I'm not a multi-person relationship type of person. I know that exists. I know that's something that happens. But for me, like I just can't see it. Like if I'm not the priority of someone, the one only priority, it's not gonna happen. Like I'm not going to be sane. Like, I just don't see myself being mentally healthy in that position. So, I mean, being Jorge, knowing that he's had problems with like Bernardo getting attention for his looks before, I feel like it was kind of naive of him to think that he'd be okay with him giving attention to another person.
Right.
So it all comes with being young and experimentation and learning about yourself in different situations and relationships and, coming into your own as a sexual being, as an emotional being. So this is something he clearly didn't really think out, but like some people have to learn the hard way. Like you're not a throuple type person. You're just not.
Right.
So I feel like this is kind of learning the really hard way. And in this situation, it might be at the expense of a relationship or two.
Definitely, and Bernardo looks like that. So Jorge was probably just young, dumb, and full of something. But Sanaa, what do you think about that whole scenario, especially when you saw Buzz and Bernardo running down that little bridge?
Yeah, the first thing, okay, so when they were all in the room together and, asking Buzz, like, hey, do you want to be part of this? You dig? And he's like, that's not really his thing. The part that got so awkward is when he says, this is first time coming out for real. And then like in being in a real relationship. And Jorge is like, excuse me, like we were together for like a year. And he was like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
the sex was whack. The sex was whack.
I would literally be so like, I would be shook. I would say, you know what? This meeting is adjourned. Because you're not about to play me in. I'm not going to have company play me in my own house. So we just got to let it go. And
absolutely.
It's like Jorge needs to really, like you were saying, like be more true to yourself. You know that's not you. And I think he was trying to do it because he thought that Bernardo was like really into it. And he thought like, oh, my man is into this. So I'm just going to do it to please him. But he really wasn't feeling it too much anyway. He was kind of like, well, if it's like, what you want to do. Right. And so Jorge is trying to like push his narrative of he's like okay with just certain things that he's not. And that's how he got his feelings hurt. And baby, when I'm stretching and wore my good leggings to come surprise you,
my good earmuffs,
and run, and you want to run with somebody else, I don't even count that as an official breakup because technically he didn't say I break up with you or anything like that. So
I agree.
We would have been running together. They would have thought we were a running group.
Right. Hey, Beyonce, Kelly, y'all ready for Michelle? Hold on, let me come.
That's the thing. I would never be a Michelle. I would rather break out of the group and be my own Beyonce than be a Michelle.
Well, we saw that, Camille. We saw.
Yes.
At least run up to him and say, we're done.
Right. Don't go out like that.
But he was so...
I would not have been sitting there feeling bad for myself. I would have sprinted up there, said something. Shoot, someone would have gotten a piece of my mind one way or another.
But I think what we're not talking about is what happened in Molly's Crisis. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. When he was asking for all them vodka sodas and Bernardo's like, what's good with you? And he's like, well, a breakup. And Bernardo's like, but I'm right here. Right here. Like,
how is he not seeing him? Like, is nobody seeing him the way I'm seeing him? Because I don't understand.
Right.
Jorge was cutting out for all the wrong reasons.
I 100% agree. So much drama, but I definitely didn't think about that. So now you mentioned that there was an official breakup. So I think there's definitely going to be more development of that next episode. And we'll love to talk about that as well. So we have to also get into some Pepper, because I know we love some Pepper around here. I mean, sometimes I don't, but I know someone who does, which is Eric.
Yes.
So we also have Kevin Keller, aka my LGBT Riverdale King. So he was here, and it was so fun to see him on Katy Keene. So he was helping Pepper. They were kind of working together to expose this creepy old director, which just literally gave me chills. It was so awkward and so creepy.
Cringy.
It was. So, but it's crazy because what really happened with Pepper was karma was really real for her. She thought that she could put that expose out, keep his money, and move on with her day. But Hannah Melby came back and said, girl, I'm going to do the exact same thing to you. So
Right.
Pepper was shook. She was shook as much as a pepper shaker. And Eric, I know you love some pep, so tell me all about that.
Karma hit in real time. Normally she gives like about 10 to 15 business days. She was on time. She was expedited. I was like, wow, damn, Pepper. Hate to see it, sis. I really love what it is that she did for Kevin. Like, it was necessary. Not only did she put some money in her pocket, she was able to pay Dee Dee, but she also stopped a real problem. Like, you can't be soliciting sex for promotion. At least you shouldn't be. So I mean, I respected that much, but I also couldn't be mad that Hannah did the same thing to Pepper, because it's like, you did this girl dirt, left her in prison for approximately 3 days. It was 3 days? So
3 days in Morocco.
Business. I think business.
Right.
Also, yeah.
4 in prison. Like, for what? So, I mean, I couldn't get behind Pepper wholeheartedly this episode. I mean, I love what she did, but the karma was deserved. I'm undecided. Chris Brown voice.
It's funny, you know, we had Michael on the show last week, and he definitely talked about how Pepper is going to get some development. And we need to see that from her, because I feel like she's kind of been going for things, and then it kind of comes back to bite her. You know, she hasn't really had that good moment that everybody else in the show has had already. Even Xandra has had that tonight of getting her own, you know, and doing things for herself. So now tell me about your thoughts on that as well. What did you think, and what do you think is next for Pepper?
Whew, well, Pepper has really been going crazy. And first of all, her wife needs to be careful in the way she's demanding for her money. I mean, I know it is her money, but you know, she did come barging in. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
But Miss Pepper, she's really, I'm not gonna lie. I really did think that she was the one who leaked the story, and I was gonna be totally done. I was gonna have to exit out the show, turn my laptop off,
leave meeting.
But you know, I don't think it was her after they really started talking about it. We have our suspects, but you know, Pepper, I'm really still on the fence with her, because she sometimes just does things that can be a little bit too much. It's like borderline, like, I don't know if you're a friend or not.
Because we don't know enough.
Exactly. Yeah. She comes across very, very selfish. Like, everybody really helps each other in this show. Like, they're such friends, but Pepper tries to put that persona on, but it also comes across very selfish. She feels like she's always doing things for herself. Camille, what did you think about that? And also, what did you think about when Dee Dee was like, I'm teaming up with Hannah and I'm going to take you down myself?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was honestly, this whole Pepper story is kind of, it's a snowball effect. So it started off with little lies here and there, little scandals here and there. And some of them were like for good purposes, like the guy who was cheating on his wife, and for Valentine's Day or whatever, she brought him and swindled him at Lacy. It's like a lot of people could have seen that as like, all right, that's kind of her doing a little good Robin Hood deed or whatever, because he was cheating on his wife and she made it so that he spent the night with her in the hotel or whatever. But then these lies and these kind of like schemes started getting kind of personal. So that came to like Kiss and Spider Woman, when she was kind of playing Alex and Xandra against each other, and you know, promising people different things. And you know, honestly, that will keep building, and there are a lot of secrets about Pepper that people won't really know until the end of the season. So it's just like kind of like an ongoing mystery of like what her real intentions are and why she does the things she does and who she actually is. So
for sure.
You know, it's hard at this point to kind of decide whether or not I believe her, or like whether or not you understand her intentions, or why she does what she does, and like why it's so hard for her to live a legitimate lifestyle or be honest with her friends. Right. But you know, I think when it comes down to it, she has a good heart. And when it comes to Dee Dee, like Pepper, she's gonna do what she needs to do, and she doesn't really think about necessarily the people that her endeavors affect.
Yeah.
And with Dee, she kind of took her for granted because Dee was still loyal and did whatever she wanted, was always there for her, lied on many accounts for her. And Dee was over it. And Hannah Melody is, Dee is Pepper's ex, who knows the most about her out of anyone so far. So Hannah knows how to get to her and knows how to manipulate almost just as good, if not better, than Pepper herself. So to get Dee on her side only took but so much. So
Yes.
it's like, that's like literally an example of you met your match, Hannah Melody and Pepper. So I wasn't surprised when she was able to get Dee to come to her side.
For sure. We definitely want to see more Pepper, so I can't wait to talk about in our predictions. But that's pretty much the recap of the episode. It was such a good one. I say this every week because I just love this show so much, but it was such a great episode. And we're going to kind of move into another thing. Sanaa, do you have some questions for us, I believe?
Yes. So I do have a special segment still. And it's going to be 60 Seconds with Camille.
Yes, part two.
Part two.
Part two.
Yes.
So now that you played the game before, I have full confidence in you to get through all of them.
Yes.
Okay, so does anybody want to do the timer of 60 seconds?
You got it, Eric?
Let me see if I can get it on my computer.
I got it. I got it on my phone. Let me do it real quick. Okay, you are good. I got it.
Okay, tell me when to go.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Favorite quarantine snack?
Popcorn.
Favorite movie of all time?
The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh.
How many rolls of tissue do you have?
Right now, probably like 8.
Oh, stop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Favorite item in your closet?
My puffer jacket.
What age did you learn how to ride the bike?
5.
What's your Starbucks order?
Venti Americano with a side of almond milk and 10 stevias.
Ooh.
Best girl group. What was your favorite age?
Probably 8, 9.
Time.
Favorite place to visit in LA?
Mulholland.
Favorite kind of taco?
Sofritas.
Ooh. Last time you were in love?
Time again.
Right now.
What a good way to end it.
We want to hear about it. Tell us all about that.
I have a cute boyfriend. He's the best. I love him. His name's Connor.
A cute boyfriend makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come say hi, babe. Come say hi. Just peek your head in.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Connor. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too, Connor.
Thank you.
We love Camille.
This is too cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
Thank you,
you
Sanaa.
know
That
we
was
have
so fun.
to. You know we'll do like a little bonus question too.
Yeah.
Who is your dream actress or actor to work with one day?
I would love to work with Woody Harrelson. And I would love to work with Viola Davis.
I knew you were gonna say that for some reason.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like everyone would say like Meryl Streep, but like obviously
She's Meryl Streep.
Yes, the queen.
Meryl
I love it. Thank you, Sanaa. I love those questions. It was so fun. We love getting to know more about Camille, and we're gonna have her on again for a 3rd time. I don't know. I'm just kidding. We would love that.
Of course, I love you guys. I was
we love you too.
Love you so much, honestly. It's so fun. So before we go, we got to do our last thing, which is, of course, our predictions. We got to talk about what's coming next. So our predictions are playing. Give it a sec. There it is.
Wow.
We had a little bit of a music there. So let us start with Eric. I know, Camille, you can't really say anything. You're just going to give us some eyes. So we're going to be watching your eyes during this.
Okay. I know that the episode is about to get really good because it's time for Josie to retaliate. Camille cannot take the whole, well, Xandra cannot take the whole show. Sorry. Xandra cannot take the whole show, and then Josie does nothing. Like, it can't. So the show is about to get really good. Pepper, it only makes sense that we finally get her story. Katy and Guy, I don't care about that professional. It's the dreams. We didn't touch on the dreams like that. It's gonna happen. And Jorge, he better be running on that bridge to find them. He better be running as we speak.
Right.
Right now,
that's all I
got. And I'm screaming. So now, what about you?
Well, I already gave you one of mine. I honestly think that Katy's mom was with Lucy's son. So you already know who her daddy is. Second, I don't know. I feel like Jorge isn't gonna get back with Bernardo. I really hope they get back together, but I don't know. Like, this Buzz guy is the new Buzz around town. So.
See what you did there.
I love it. I, for one, hope they do not get back together because I'm actually next in line for Bernardo. But my predictions are actually that I do think that Katy and Guy are gonna go there. No matter how much Gloria tried to give her that advice and said, "Don't do it, sis. It's gonna ruin your life." He's gonna ruin her life, and we all know a guy that ruins your life for the better. So we'll see how that goes. But that is, Camille, do you want to say anything before we go? Any predictions?
Well, next week we get to have our own Meta Gala, as it's called. And a lot of things go down at the Meta Gala, and everyone's wearing their finest outfits and looking their absolute best. And I think a lot of the things that you guys want to see kind of resolved will happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
We'll roll with that. We love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. We love that. Anything else you want to talk about, Camille, before we go? Anything you want to shout out?
Well, just keep up with the show and keep watching where the storylines go. And especially this week, we have a really special guest who when you guys see who it is, I just want you to reach out to me and tell me, because you're gonna freak out when you see who this guest is that I'm talking about. You all know who it is. I'm not at liberty to say, but this guest is someone that everyone, if you know anything about anything, you're gonna be like, what? And the next time I'm on with you guys, we'll have a discussion about it. But it was my favorite guest star of this whole series, and I was starstruck the minute I walked on set and saw this person.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
You have to see. Yeah, it'll be
Okay, Camille, can we get it? Okay, this is the only hint we'll need. Did we grow up watching this person, or is this person someone new?
Ooh.
You grew up watching this person.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. We're doing some digging. I'm going into the archives of the Katy Keene social media.
I'll give you one hint, and I'm not going to give you anything else. You want to be on top?
No.
I'm not going to say anything else. You're going to have to speculate from there. That's it.
Ain't no speculation. We know. We know. Let's go.
I'm so excited. Let us. I can't wait to get there. We are going to be reaching out to you on social media, Camille, and talking all about it. So where can everybody find you?
At Camille Hyde on Instagram, at Mimi Hyde on Twitter. So.
Amazing. Eric, how about you? Where can everyone find you?
Catch me on Instagram at The World According to Eric, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Eric Devante.
So now, how about you, girl?
Yes, make sure to follow me on Instagram at @IAM_SANA_ and on Twitter at @IAM_SANA.
Love. And I'm Brian Santos. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at the Brian Santos. It's been so amazing to have you again, Camille. We love you so much, and we would love to absolutely have you back again. Thank you for the little hint there. We can't wait to see it. And can't wait to watch next week's episode. So everybody, please come back, tune in again. We would love to have Camille back on. And just thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.